Hey, selamat pagi. How is everybody? Good,
Mm,
I hope. What a beautiful morning this has been.
mm,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
So is it possible that I can share my PowerPoint with you so that you're just not looking at me, you're actually looking at
Absolutely, your co-host now. So, mhm.
okay. So hold on, let me see. This is not easy for me to share. I mean to make this happen. Whoops. Am I still there?
You're here. Yeah, you can. There's a bottom button that says share with a green arrow. Um,
Not seeing it. Oh, let's see what happened here. Oh, I see. Okay. So share with the green arrow. Okay. I think that's it. Yes. Okay. Let's go up to the top.
Wonderful. We can see it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how to make it bigger or anything, but I think it's fine. So I just love to share because I'm so blessed to be surrounded by so many beautiful birthing women, their families, their babies, and the birth keepers here in Bali. But since I'm talking about human rights in childbirth this morning, let's talk about the obstetrical table. There's a medieval torture table and there's a modern, that's not quite the modern one. The modern one now, they cover them in pink plastic and they make them a little bit less frightening, but it's still the same thing. You know, the obstetrical table is basically a torture table. And I've spent a lot of energy and time and love, poured love into trying to change that so that women don't have to give birth on an obstetrical table. Um, it was never meant to be something comfortable for mothers and babies. It's also too narrow to just be comfortable after birth, and it was part of why babies got taken away immediately. So this is my beautiful friend Elsa, and she was told by three OBGYNs in the last few days before this picture was taken that her baby was too big and that she had to have a cesarean. She came from Kalimantan, Borneo, to have her baby at Bumi Sehat. And you can see there is an ultrasound machine in the foreground, which we don't use routinely. We don't use it very often at all. It is sometimes reassuring to let a mom know that everything's okay if she's really worried. And we all are trained in using it, but we don't use it. But to have like low technology, high touch care, I feel like says to the mother, I believe in you. And when, as a birth keeper, you connect with the baby in this way and listen to the baby's heartbeat and and it's just amazing. The baby will tell you what the baby really wants and feels. It's a beautiful thing. And to teach the other members of the family, the mom's partner, for example, how to put his or her ear down on the belly and stay quiet and listen to the baby. There's a beautiful couple, Dwi and Nenga, and they are having their first baby, and they're just hanging out um, at Bumi Sehat. And I love what happened when she had her baby. Look at how joyful she is. Now, she asked to be on the bed. She got on the bed at some point when her labor got intense and she felt comfortable there. So that's what she did. Now she's had her baby. We're waiting for placenta to be born. And look at that. Look at that absolute wonder and joy. And Ina May Gaskin says that if a mother isn't smiling and beaming joy when she has her baby, someone's not treating her right. And there she is breastfeeding, placenta still attached. We can talk about the human right of babies to stay attached to their placenta. There's all kinds of scientific reasons. For example, we know that the baby's full blood supply is not yet in the baby and that it's still being moved from the placenta by way of the umbilical cord into the baby at the time of birth. At Bumi Sehat, we wait a minimum of 3 hours. And if the family wants to take the baby home still attached to their placenta, we just wash the blood away and pack it in salt and cotton cloth and put it in a basket for them. Um, it's yeah, we can the scientific and the the physical reasons are many, and I did a whole book called Placenta, the Forgotten Chakra, which you can find on my website. But for me, what I really became aware of was that um, is that our placentas are our first lovers, and separating the baby from their first lover is so cruel, and that we need to just not do it. And in Bali, we know that part of our culture here and all over my Filipino culture and all over Southeast Asia and Oceania, we believe that the placenta is the physical body of the child's guardian angel. So you need to be able to just be with your guardian angel after the birth. The guardian angel dies when you're born, a slow natural death, and stays with you in spirit for your entire life and goes with you when you leave this life to advocate for you. This is Emmy having her first baby. It was during COVID-19. Her doula is also her cousin, who's also a doula trained by Deborah Pascali Bonaro, Widi, and myself. She's also a midwife. And we're really into collaborative care. Witty's husband is an OBGYN, and the mother's standing in the background, Witty, and I was her midwife at home. So this is the OBGYN that you want to collaborate with, the person who asks you to be his family midwife at home. So, and also, none of these babies had their cords cut ever. They all did full lotus birth. It was these two women, their babies. So Emmy says to me, "Can you check me? I feel like I might be progressing in this labor." And she was squatting, and so I got down on the floor and I looked up and I could see that her baby was crowning. There was never a vaginal exam done. She was just allowed to be in her most natural self, even in a birthing center, you know. Birth can happen anywhere. We've caught babies in Coca-Cola trucks. So and to create what Elena talked about earlier, that space that's so magical, and let that vortex happen, and to get out of the way of the vortex can happen anywhere. This is my dear friend Eusti and baby Grace. Grace is now 15 years old, but we always sing when the babies are crowning. We never yell push. As Deborah Pascali Bonaro says, push is a 4-letter word. We sing. So for the Hindu mothers, we sing Om Bhurrbhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam. For the for the Muslim mothers, which about 20% to 30% of our moms are Muslim here in Indonesia or here in Bali. All over Indonesia, it's a Muslim majority. And so we pray Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Allah Akbar. And you can really feel how beautiful it is. This mama, Yusti, is Christian, and so we sang Amazing Grace, and she named her baby Grace. We have quite a few babies named Grace. This is Cadet. She had twins. First one was head down, second one was feet first, and she had a beautiful, gentle birth. She was told she needed to go to the hospital because that's regulation in this country. But when her feelings of giving birth started, she ran to Bumi Sehat just to check and see if it was time to go to the hospital. And her first baby was on his way out. So it was beautiful. And she had had 2 miscarriages prior to having the twins. So it was a super healing experience. And breastfeeding and parenting has gone beautifully for her. Moms in Papua, all actually one mom is still connected to her IV in the middle, but the other babies are still connected to their placentas. We put flowers, and the team in Papua is just so special, um, extraordinary. We have 4 clinics that I don't know what to call them. They're more like birthing homes, but they also do community health for free in Indonesia and 2 in Philippines. And here's Bidan, or midwife Lily Subi, and she's rowing out to the small islands on Lake Sentani. Um, she just Our midwives and our doulas go the distance for our mothers wherever we're needed. And she's going out on the lake, which ended up being a stormy day, and brought prenatal care and help and food supplies and vitamins to women who don't normally have that. You can see midwife Yos, Bidan Yos, holding Putu on the right. That's a 4 kilo, 300-gram baby, Putu's first baby. It was a big baby. And she was with her mother-in-law and her mother, and they both thought it was better for her to lay on the bed and she was laying on the bed, writhing back and forth during labor. And Ibu Yas said, "What if you get off that bed?" And she said, "Yeah, I want to get off this bed." And she squatted and birthed this baby. And look at her face. Like no one can mess with her for the rest of her life. These are our Papua midwives. And at the beginning of COVID and all during COVID, it was absolutely required in Indonesia to wear the personal protective wear, the the hazmat suits and the masks and everything. And in Papua, we couldn't get those hazmat suits. So rather than close our birthing center there, our midwives went out and bought rain jackets and rain pants, and it's hotter there than Bali. And these women wore these rain jackets so they could follow regulation. And part of it is in order to serve the most people, the most mothers and their families and their babies, we really do have to follow regulation at Bumi Sehat. Bumi Sehat was the first medical organization in Indonesia to get a perfect score on our accreditation. So we're pretty proud of that. And one by one, our different birthing centers and community health clinics are being accredited. Here are three mothers that were told that they had to have cesarean births, and all three of them showed up in labor and got to know each other. They're best friends now, and they all three had their babies that evening. They're just so brave and so full of love, and also different religions. One mom is Muslim, one is Christian, one is Hindu. That is probably something that only happens at Bumi Sehat. Bumi means the earth mother, and Sehat is healthy, so we're Healthy Mother Earth Foundation. So midwives help wherever. You know, this was a young girl from Lombok who was in a Muslim school. She made love with her boyfriend one time, and she didn't know she was pregnant. And by the time she realized, she just hid the pregnancy. She was in school. It was a boarding school, and her friends found her in pain, in labor, in the bathroom in the morning, and they got her down the stairs and into a truck from the traditional birth attendant, and the traditional birth attendant was able to borrow a truck and bring her to Bumi Sehat, and our midwives jumped into the back of the truck and received the baby into the world. And this mother was then allowed to marry her boyfriend. They are two different sects of Islam. One is Sunni and one is Shiite, and normally they're not allowed to marry. But our team negotiated with the families, and she went ahead and continued school because her boyfriend lived right next to the school. Her mother-in-love, her boyfriend's mother, who became her husband, her mother-in-love helped her with the baby and would bring the baby to her for breastfeeding all day long so she could finish school. It was a beautiful thing that happened after her surprise birth. Look at this circle of support. You can see the mother with her mother, who's also a midwife, her husband, her midwives, her doula, and her baby's placenta all together. And that night, we had 5 babies at Bumi Sehat. Um, these are the biggest breasts in the world. Karina Hardy, who's an incredible artist, she made these out of latex, and we set them up in our village for World Breastfeeding Week. By the way, happy World Breastfeeding Week. We are having celebrations and parties at Bumi Sehat this week. Yes, it's World Breastfeeding Week right now. What a perfect time to have our birth gathering online. So these big breasts, you crawl in through like the underwires, and you crawl all the way around like you're being born, and then you get into the middle of the breasts. And we had light shows and rock concerts in the evenings. Unfortunately, and I mean, they are biodegradable, and we were really excited about biodegradable latex. However, because they're biodegradable, they're gone now. So we don't have them anymore. We don't know if Karina is going to try to recreate them, but I don't know any other village in the world that had the biggest breasts in the world and blew them up and had them on had them on display for people to come from all over the island um, to enjoy World Breastfeeding Week. But it was incredible community thing. These are some of our teams, our team in Bali wearing purple, our team in Papua, that motorcycle, the pink motorcycle. We can go to the far-flung areas when mothers need us, and the little purple wearing mothers on the right, there's Those are beautiful midwives and our doula and a couple of doctors that were in the disaster zone in the Philippines. Jacqueline Aurora, who's there in Hawaii doing incredible work with Healthy Mother, Healthy Baby, is in that picture in the back. But we did 777 babies in a tent after that huge typhoon destroyed 9 islands, and we had better outcomes than the national average in the Philippines. So, we do disaster relief. You can see that we are just let me know, start making signals when I go over time. Um, this is community outreach during a big earthquake. We are in the ring of fire, so things happen here. This is a circle of support for a mom who was really afraid to give who was really afraid to give birth. She's in Okinawa. We were doing a doula and midwife workshop in Okinawa. Remember, doulas are essential. No excluding the doulas. Okay. I love this. We are not caring for 9 months and struggling during labor for 9 hours just to for you to kneel on the necks of our children for 9 minutes. And so that's a mother in Washington, DC. Soon after we've had so many deaths of people of color there in the United States. The United States is a very difficult place, I'm sure for all of you. And then there's a mother there in Ukraine during the war when the maternity ward was actually bombed while she was in labor. And I have friends from Ukraine and many stories because Ukrainian families are sending their daughters to us to have their babies safely at Bumi Sehat. And the trauma is profound. It's pretty, yeah, especially if a Ukrainian woman is married to a Russian man. Where is their home? What can they call home? They can't go to each other's countries at all. Okay, the International Childbirth Initiative. I encourage you all to Google it, get on there, look at the 12 steps. Things, this was embraced in 2019 or 2020, maybe it was 2021, as um the the International Gynecologists, FIGO, Federation International Gynecologists and Obstetricians. They're the umbrella organization over all those OBGYN doctors internationally, and they embrace the International Childbirth Initiative as their vision statement. So the work has been done. It's all in writing. You can download it. You can, those of you that would like to join as a partner with ICI, please do. It's incredible. Water birth is included. Doulas are included. Our human rights are all, it's all laid out. And the Federation of International Gynecologists and Obstetricians really are on board with that. How we get our obstetricians and gynecologists involved, for example, ACOG is another scary story. They're not really, they're not really on board, but eventually the work has been done. So this is part of our work in disaster zones. That's a typhoon, and you can see the whole southern half of the Philippines. And after that, we've been early responders and are still in many of our disaster zones as we built permanent birthing homes there. And you can see our beautiful midwife, Elise, and she's holding a baby and waiting for this mother who gave birth in a tent to then reach for her baby and bring her baby to her heart, just giving that pregnant pause. But we have proven that the International Childbirth Initiative 12 steps are effective no matter how broken the setting is in all those disasters. And I would tell you that now more than ever, our babies are listening. This is a couple who's gone out to look at the volcano erupting and listening to their baby. And that's my grandmother. I wanted you to meet her because she really set my feet on this path of being a birth keeper. She was a traditional birth attendant in the Philippines before, during, and after World War II, where there was no hospitals, there was no plan B. And she was incredibly, she's well, she's gone now. She lived to be 97. And anyway, so that's my sharing. I don't know how to unshare. Okay, here. Hi. I'm probably out of time. How's my time, Numana?
Hello. Yeah, we've come to a close. That was so informative. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm putting Ibu's Instagram as well as website here in the chat. Yeah. Yeah.
There are books that are free on my website in Bahasa Indonesia, but also in English is New Mother, I Love You. It's a little postpartum book that's so great for families so that they can really look at the spectrum of what can happen with moms postpartum and be there for their women. That book is in English and Bahasa Indonesia on my website. It's going to go up in Dutch, Russian, and soon Spanish. So I just haven't had time to post it up there, but it's a free download and I hope you all enjoy it. I love you so much and I believe in you. I
Yeah.
feel it's our biggest job as birth keepers to believe in the mothers. We've had so many vaginal birth after cesarean in these last few months, but it's to the point where every week or even more often than that, we're having VBAC moms. And part of that is just believing in them, supporting them in breastfeeding after they have that cesarean birth. Cesareans are still a miracle, and mothers should be loved up and supported and not made to feel that they failed, especially now that there's so many cesarean births. But remember that the more love that you share with the mother, the more support and the better she can breastfeed after that cesarean birth, the more likely she is to have her baby naturally the next time.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Thank
I
you
love you.
so much. Yeah, personally, really just inspired by the singing too when the baby is, coming through and the songs. And now there's so many babies named Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The different songs that you're singing based off the different religion and their beliefs, it's really powerful. And I can so appreciate that. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and we'd love to hear everyone else's digestion points. What are your takeaways? You can share in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of thank yous and I love
Yeah.
yous. You're getting a lot of I love yous.
She's like a modern day Mother Teresa. Honestly, listening to your story, you're like saving, you know, every day baby by baby and the mothers from having like, really traumatic experiences and bringing it back home. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful. Your efforts going worldwide is just so inspirational and admirable. I
Yeah.
mean, thank you.
I
Thank you.
don't do it alone. We have 16 midwives in Bali. We have 5 midwives in Papua. In Lombok, we have 4. In it's just we have so many in each of our places. So
Mm.
yes.
Thank you so much, Ibu.